that's in the book, though, that is true, and it's the only one that I want to really talk about, is admit to being true, okay? And is this. I'm not going to show it on the screen, but this is I was beginning to write things that would end up being in the book. This one got my attention because it's a real headline from the Lexington Herald-Leader. This is not one of my cases. You'll read about this in my book a little bit, but the headline got my attention. All 7 victims of Knox County fire identified. 7 people died in a fire in Knox County, Kentucky. This was in March of 2013, 3 years ago. And the headline went on to say, cause remains unknown. That's what got my attention, okay? All 7 victims of Knox County fire identified. Cause remains unknown. I get what they mean. They were trying to figure out, was it a cigarette or was it a gas thing or whatever. But as I read the article, I was like, no, the cause is not really unknown. Because the facts were that, and the other part of this that got my attention was the name, which I didn't even have to change for my book. Those who died in the fire were Jesse Disney, 27, his girlfriend, Nina Asher, 22, who was pregnant. That's 2 dead, plus an unborn baby. The headline said 7. It was really 8, counting her. Asher's children from a previous relationship, William Gray Jr., Camden Gray, William Gray Jr. was 3, Camden Gray was 2, Abigail Gray was 8 months old, and Peyton Cox, who would have been 3 this month, she was just visiting, and Brielle Cox, age 2. So a 3-year-old died, a 2-year-old died, 8-month-old died, 3-year-old died, 3-month-old died, 2-year-old died, Jesse the boyfriend died, Nina the girlfriend died, she was pregnant, that's 8. Relatives had identified Disney, Asher, and her children on Saturday. State police released the names of the other 2 victims Monday. It went on to say that the area where they lived was called Disneyland. Okay, they lived in Disneyland. Disneyland was a place where the girlfriend and her 3 children were now living with the new boyfriend who she'd gotten pregnant by. And the picture, of course, is a picture of the biological father of those 3 kids, who was not killed. But it's a picture of him and his 3 children that died in the fire. And the whole article was about what a great father he was. And how sad the whole thing was. And it was sad. It is sad. But I just kind of read that and I says, where you been, man? You mean you're satisfied for another man to be sleeping in your bed with your kids? And the fire didn't actually really happen at night. It actually happened early. The other thing that got me is it actually happened early, like 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. It actually happened when children should have been getting up to go to Sunday school. But they'd partied. The article said they'd been partying till 2 or 3 in the morning. And so they were sleeping in when the fire happened. So when the article said, cause unknown, something in me went, no, I know exactly what happened. It was the breakdown of the family. It was the fact that nobody in this group ever even thought about getting married, thought about the boundaries of marriage and a wife and a husband and falling in love with each other first and then having children instead of just living in that Disneyland. Then compare that Disneyland. Last Saturday, Sue and I went to the real Disneyland, didn't we, honey? We had the greatest time. This was in California, by the way. Not Disney World. We went to the real Disneyland. We're good on time. We're almost done. And I was not crazy about going to Disneyland last Saturday, because Disneyland is for kids. And there's a little sign on there, you know, as you walk in, that Walt Disney wants you to be happy. And I've almost got a whole sermon on why you shouldn't ever try to be happy.